We're going to discuss the method for streaking media for the isolation of bacteria. The purpose is to obtain well-isolated colonies. When you do identification of bacteria, you always have to work with pure isolates. You don't want biochemical results from a mixed culture. So in order to streak for isolation, the materials that we need will be a previously plated bacterial culture, blood agar, a Sharpie, and sterile inoculating loops. Prior to streaking our plates, we are going to label the plates, and you're always going to label the actual media side of the plate and not the lid, because quite often lids can become separated and then your identification has disappeared and you've got two unlabeled plates. So always make sure that you label the media side of the plate. You will label it with the name, and we are using Staph aureus today, the date, and the tech initials of the person doing the isolating. Okay, to begin streaking for isolation, aseptically, we will take a loop. We will touch that loop to just the top of one colony, one very well isolated colony. You can see the colony I used was sitting off to the side all on its own. And then we inoculate the culture plate at the top of the media, and you just inoculate by a streak and then like a dime-sized circle. We will discard that loop, obtain a second loop aseptically, and then we begin at the top of our inoculum, and we are going to streak back and forth in parallel streaks for the upper 1/3 part of our plate. So I'm going to go ahead and streak back and forth parallel. And you don't want to keep going back into your previous streaks, you just streak down. Then we turn the plate about a quarter, and we are going to then take our loop and go back into the first section that we just streaked and go back into that first section no more than 2 times. So, and we will then do parallel strokes again for 1/3 of the plate in the second section. So I will go in the lower section of my first streak twice and then streak down parallel. I will then turn the plate again and repeat by going into the second quadrant no more than twice and streaking parallel throughout the rest of the unstreaked media. An improper streaking is when you inoculate, streak the top 1/3 of the plate, rotate your plate, and go continuously back into that first section when you are streaking your second. And then when you rotate the plate again, once again, you will not have good isolation if you continuously go back in to the previous sections. Now you can see this plate the plates were incubated in a 37-degree incubator for 18 to 24 hours with the lid side down. We put the lid side down because when the plates are being incubated and the organisms are metabolizing, there may be moisture produced, and if you incubate your plates lid side up, that moisture then will drip down into your growth and cause the growth to not be isolated very well, and maybe even cause the organisms to grow along the watermarks. So we can see that we have very well isolated colonies on our plate that was incubated for 18 to 24 hours. Next, we can see that we don't have real good isolation on the plate that has the streaks re-entering into the previous quadrant or section. And on our MacConkey plate, we can see there's absolutely no isolation at all. Some labs streak with 3 sections, which is what we just demonstrated, where you inoculate and streak the top third, a second, and a third section. Other labs streak with quadrants, and they streak about a third to a quarter of the way down the plate, then go into a second area, a third area, and a fourth area.